imagine a seed. It's so small you can barely see it in the palm of your hand. If you plant it today, nothing magical happens overnight. The soil looks the same. You water it, you wait, and still, for days or weeks, nothing. But beneath the ground, something invisible is happening. Roots are spreading. Energy is building. And one day, almost without noticing, a green sprout pushes through the soil. From there, with daily sunlight and water, it grows stronger, taller, and eventually becomes a tree. Your English is that seed. Every small word you learn, every sentence you practice, every mistake you correct, it's like giving water and sunlight to your seed. At first, you might think nothing is happening. You might even get discouraged. But with daily attention, with patience and consistency, you will wake up one day and realize, you are no longer just learning English, you are living it. This audiobook is your guide, your encouragement, and your companion on that journey. We will explore how small daily steps in English lead to big success in both language and life. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do it all at once. You only need to take the next small step. So let's begin together. Chapter 1: The Power of Small Steps. When people think of learning English, many imagine giant leaps. They think they need to study for hours a day, memorize long lists of vocabulary, or suddenly transform into someone who speaks fluently overnight. That's why so many give up before they truly begin, because the task feels too heavy, too big, too impossible. But here's the truth: success is built on small, repeated actions. Think about walking up a mountain. You don't teleport to the top, you take one step, then another, then another. Each step may feel small, but together, they carry you to heights you never imagined. The same is true for your English journey. A single small habit, practiced daily, has more power than a massive effort done once in a while. Reading one page of an English book every night before bed. Writing just 3 new sentences in a notebook each morning. Listening to a short English podcast while cooking breakfast. These may seem too small to matter, but over weeks, months, and years, they build unstoppable progress. Science supports this. Researchers in psychology have found that habits are the true building blocks of achievement. It's not willpower alone. It's not motivation that comes and goes. It's the repeated, automatic habits that shape who we become. Let me share a story. A young learner named Maria decided she wanted to improve her English. But she had almost no time. Between work, family, and responsibilities, she couldn't imagine studying for hours. Instead, she promised herself just 10 minutes a day. At first, it seemed laughably small. But she stuck with it. Each day she listened to 10 minutes of English audio while brushing her teeth and preparing for her commute. After a month, she noticed she could understand more words. After 3 months, her confidence grew. After a year, those 10 minutes had turned into over 60 hours of listening. Maria didn't climb the mountain in a day, but she reached the top step by step. That is the power of small steps. Now think about your own life. Could you give 5 minutes today? Could you read one short article? Could you write one sentence about your day in English? It may not feel like much, but it's exactly these actions that separate the dreamers from the doers. The beauty of small steps is that they remove excuses. You don't need perfect grammar today. You don't need hours of free time. You don't need to feel 100% ready. You only need to do something small, today, tomorrow, and the next day. And here's the magic: small steps don't stay small. Just like compounding interest in the bank, the more you invest daily, the more it grows. Words you learn today combine with yesterday's knowledge. Sentences you practice tomorrow connect to today's confidence. Over time, your English begins to expand beyond what you thought possible. Remember this: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but it is completed by taking that step every single day. So, I invite you now to stop imagining English as a giant mountain and instead see it as a path of small stones. Each day, you place one stone. Each week, you lay a path. And each year, you will look behind you and see how far you have come. Your success is not in the giant leap. It's in the small, steady steps you choose today. Chapter 2: Building Momentum with Daily Practice. Imagine pushing a heavy car that has stopped in the middle of the road. At first, it feels impossible. You press your hands against the cold metal, you push with all your strength, and nothing seems to move. But you keep pushing. Slowly, very slowly, the car begins to roll forward. Once it starts moving, each new push feels easier. Soon, the car is moving smoothly, and you hardly need to push at all. That is momentum. And when it comes to learning English, or achieving any goal in life, momentum is your secret weapon. Momentum means that the energy you build today makes tomorrow's effort easier. The hardest part is the beginning, when progress feels invisible and the habit hasn't yet formed. But once you keep going, once the habit locks into your daily rhythm, it becomes almost automatic. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up each morning and say, "Should I brush my teeth today?" You simply do it. It's part of who you are. Daily English practice can become exactly the same if you build momentum. The science of habit stacking. Researchers have discovered a method called habit stacking, which is one of the most powerful ways to build momentum. The idea is simple: you attach a new habit to an old one. You don't try to create a new space in your day. Instead, you add English to something you already do. For example, after you make your morning coffee, read one short English article. After brushing your teeth at night, review 3 new English words. While walking to the bus stop, listen to an English podcast. While cooking dinner, repeat English sentences aloud. These small connections transform English into a natural part of your life. You don't need to find time for English, you weave it into the fabric of your daily routine. Why showing up beats perfection? Many learners fall into the trap of perfectionism. They think, if I can't study for an hour, it's not worth doing at all. But this mindset kills momentum. The truth is that showing up daily matters more than doing it perfectly. Imagine someone who studies English for 3 hours once a month. Now compare them with someone who spends just 10 minutes a day. After a year, the first person will have studied for 36 hours. The second person, with small but consistent effort, will have studied for 60 hours. Not only that, The daily learner's brain is constantly practicing, reinforcing, and remembering. The once-a-month learner keeps forgetting and starting over. Daily practice keeps your English muscle strong. Even 5 minutes is like lifting a small weight each day. You don't get weaker, you stay ready. Turning ordinary moments into English gold. The truth is, your life is already full of opportunities to practice English, you just need to see them. Waiting in line at the store? Describe what you see in English in your head. Cooking pasta? Say each step in English. I boil the water. I add the salt. I stir the pasta. Looking at your phone? Switch your apps into English. Talking to yourself in the mirror? Do it in English. These ordinary moments, when used well, become extraordinary practice. You don't need a classroom. The world is your classroom, and every day is your chance to learn. Momentum creates motivation. Here's something many people misunderstand. Motivation doesn't come first. Action does. We often wait for motivation before starting, but in reality, once you take small action, motivation grows. Think about going to the gym. At first, you don't feel like going. But once you start moving your body, once the sweat begins, you feel alive. The energy carries you forward. The same is true for English. Once you start your daily practice, reading a paragraph, writing a sentence, listening for 5 minutes, you feel progress. That progress fuels motivation, and motivation fuels more action. This cycle, action, progress, motivation, more action, is what creates unstoppable momentum. A story of daily momentum. There's a man named David who dreamed of speaking English fluently, but he always felt stuck. He would study hard for 2 weeks, then stop for months. Each time he returned, he felt like a beginner again. Finally, he made a decision. I will practice English for just 5 minutes a day, no matter what. He started with small steps. Reading headlines, listening to short clips, writing 1 sentence about his day. At first, he felt silly, it seemed too easy. But after a month, he noticed that his vocabulary was expanding. After 3 months, he could write a short journal in English. After a year, those 5 minutes had turned into a daily habit of 30 minutes, because momentum carried him forward. Now, David speaks English confidently in his job. His success didn't come from one giant effort. It came from the unstoppable power of momentum. Your momentum challenge. Ask yourself, what is the smallest, easiest English habit I can add to my day? Maybe it's 1 word, 1 sentence, 1 minute of listening. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for motivation. Begin today. Build momentum. Let the energy of small actions carry you to big success. Remember, you don't need to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. Chapter 3: Confidence through consistency. Think back to the very first time you tried riding a bicycle. At first, it felt terrifying. Your balance was shaky, your legs felt unsteady, and every little wobble made you believe you might fall. Maybe you did fall. Maybe you got a few scratches or bruises. But with each attempt, with each small ride, you grew steadier. You learned to trust yourself. And soon, you were riding with confidence, no longer thinking about balance at all. Learning English works the same way. At the beginning, speaking feels uncomfortable. You may hesitate, unsure of the right word. You may make mistakes that feel embarrassing. You may doubt yourself and wonder if you'll ever be fluent. But here's the truth. Confidence is not something you are born with, it's something you build through consistency. Why consistency creates confidence? Confidence doesn't appear magically one day. It grows each time you practice, each time you show up, each time you prove to yourself that you can do this. When you use English daily, even in small ways, you train your brain to become familiar with the language. That familiarity slowly pushes fear aside. Imagine learning to swim. If you only jump in the water once a year, every time feels scary. But if you step into the pool every day, the water becomes your friend. It's the same with English. Daily practice removes the fear because what was once strange becomes normal. Mistakes are stepping stones, not failures. Here is something most learners misunderstand. Mistakes are not your enemy, they are your greatest teacher. Think of a baby learning to walk. Does the baby get upset when it falls? No. It gets up again and tries once more. Falling is part of the process. Without falling, there is no walking. When you speak English and make a mistake, you are not failing, you are learning. Each mistake is proof that you are trying, and each correction moves you closer to fluency. Confidence comes not from avoiding mistakes, but from embracing them. So instead of saying, "I'm afraid to make mistakes," tell yourself, "Each mistake makes me stronger." Daily affirmations for English learners. One powerful tool for building confidence is affirmations, positive sentences you repeat to yourself daily. They may feel simple, but over time, they change the way your brain thinks. Here are a few affirmations you can use every day. I am improving my English step by step. I am not afraid of mistakes, they help me grow. Every day, my English becomes stronger. I have the power to express myself in English. Repeat them in the morning, before bed, or any time you feel doubt. Consistency with affirmations rewires your thoughts, replacing fear with confidence. The confidence snowball effect. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. At the top, it's small and fragile. But as it rolls, it gathers more snow, becoming bigger and stronger with every turn. Confidence works the same way. When you practice English daily, you gain a little confidence. That small confidence gives you courage to try more. You speak a little more, you listen a little longer, you write a little better. Each success adds to your confidence, and soon it grows like a snowball rolling downhill, powerful and unstoppable. A story of growing confidence. Let me tell you about Elena. She wanted to work abroad, but her English was weak. Each time she tried speaking, her hands shook and her voice trembled. She avoided conversations because she felt embarrassed. One day, she made a decision. I will practice speaking English for 5 minutes every day, no matter what. She started by talking to herself in the mirror. She described her day, her dreams, her feelings. At first, it felt silly. But she kept going. After a month, her words came more easily. After 3 months, she felt brave enough to join an online English group. The first meeting was scary, but she survived. The second was easier. The third, she actually enjoyed. After a year, Elena gave a presentation in English at her new job. Her voice was strong, her message was clear, and her confidence shone. People asked her, "How did you get so good?" And she smiled, knowing the truth, not from one big effort, but from daily, consistent practice. Your confidence challenge. Now it's your turn. I want you to choose one small daily English habit that builds confidence. Maybe it's speaking to yourself for 2 minutes in the mirror. Maybe it's writing a short journal entry. Maybe it's reading one paragraph aloud. Do it every day. Not perfectly. Not without mistakes. Just consistently. Each day you show up, you water the seed of confidence. And with time, it will grow into something unshakable. Remember this, confidence is not the absence of fear, it's the courage to continue despite fear. And that courage is built one consistent step at a time. Chapter 4, Small Habits, Big Life Changes. Have you ever noticed how one small change in your life can set off a chain reaction that transforms everything else? Imagine a single drop of water falling into a still pond. That one drop creates ripples that spread wider and wider until the whole surface of the water is moving. Learning English works the same way. At first, it may feel like you're just practicing a few words, writing a short sentence, or listening to a podcast. But those small daily actions create ripples that can transform your life far beyond the language itself. The doorway to opportunity. English is not just a subject in school, it's a key that unlocks doors. When you improve your English, you don't just gain new words, you gain access. Access to better jobs. Access to higher education. Access to friendships with people around the world. Access to information, books, movies, and knowledge that shape your mind. Think of it this way, every small English habit is like polishing that key. Each day you make it sharper, stronger, and more useful. One day, you will find a door in front of you, a job interview, a scholarship, a travel opportunity, and your polished key will fit perfectly. Without daily habits, that door might remain locked. But with consistency, you'll be ready to open it. How English shapes character. There's another hidden gift in practicing English daily. It builds discipline. Each time you keep your promise to yourself, "I'll practice for 5 minutes today," you strengthen your ability to stay committed. That discipline doesn't stay only in your English. It flows into other areas of life. You become more focused at work. You stay motivated in your fitness or health journey. You grow more confident in setting and achieving goals. Small English habits train your mind in patience, resilience, and consistency. And those qualities are the foundation of success in any area of life. The ripple effect of growth. Let's look at an example. Suppose you begin listening to English for 10 minutes each morning. After a few months, your listening skills improve. Because of this, you understand more in conversations. Understanding conversations makes you more confident to speak. Speaking more often gives you courage to join English groups online. Those groups connect you with people in other countries. One of those people tells you about a new job opening. You apply, get the job, and suddenly your life has changed, all because of one small habit you started months ago. This is the ripple effect of small habits. They begin tiny but can transform your entire future. Real-life transformations. Consider Ahmed, a young man from Egypt who dreamed of working for an international company. His English was weak, and he felt his dream was impossible. But instead of giving up, he began reading one English news article every night before bed. Just one. After 6 months, he could discuss world events in English. After a year, he passed a job interview with confidence. Today, he works for a global company and travels regularly, something that once felt like a distant dream. Or take Anna, a stay-at-home mother from Poland. She had little time for study, but she started practicing English with her children, singing songs, naming objects around the house, reading bedtime stories in English. Not only did her English improve, but her children became bilingual. That small daily habit enriched her whole family's future. These are not miracles. They are the natural results of small, consistent steps. Why big changes come from small habits? It's tempting to believe that success comes from one big action, a lucky break, a major opportunity, or a sudden burst of effort. But life doesn't usually work that way. Real, lasting change is built slowly, like bricks in a wall. Each brick seems small, but together, they create a strong, unshakable structure. Your English is your wall. Each new word, each practice session, each small habit is a brick. One day, you'll look back and see not just a pile of words, but a castle of skills that protect and empower you. Your transformation challenge. Now it's your turn. Think about one small English habit you can start today that could create ripples in your life. Maybe it's sending one English message to a friend online. Maybe it's keeping a short English journal. Maybe it's watching a short English video every evening. Do it not because it's huge, but because it's small. Because it's manageable. Because it will grow. And always remember, small habits don't just change your English, they can change your entire life. Conclusion, your daily step to success. Think back to where we started. We imagined a small seed planted in the ground. Invisible at first, but with water and sunlight, it grew into something strong, something alive, something unstoppable. That seed is your English journey. Over the past chapters, we've walked together through the truth that success in English and in life is not built on giant leaps, but on small, consistent steps. You learned that small steps are powerful because they are achievable. You don't need to move a mountain in one day. You only need to take the next step. And then another. And another. You discovered how daily practice builds momentum, turning effort into energy that carries you forward. You don't need to rely on motivation alone. Momentum makes practice automatic, natural, even enjoyable. You saw how consistency creates confidence. By showing up each day, you replace fear with familiarity, hesitation with courage, and mistakes with mastery. Each day you prove to yourself, I can do this. And you explored how small English habits ripple out into big life changes. They open doors to opportunities, shape your character with discipline and resilience, and transform not just your language skills but your future. All of this leads us to one truth: you already have everything you need to succeed. You don't need to wait for the perfect time. You don't need to wait for more motivation. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. Success is not waiting for you in the future. It begins right here, right now, with the step you take today. So here is my challenge for you. Choose one small daily English habit and begin today. Maybe it's reading one page of an English book. Maybe it's writing one sentence in a journal. Maybe it's listening to 5 minutes of English audio. Maybe it's speaking out loud to yourself in the mirror. It doesn't matter how small it feels. What matters is that you do it today. And then again tomorrow. And then again the next day. Imagine your future self 1 year from now. Imagine looking back at the path behind you, seeing every small step you took, and realizing how far you've come. Imagine the confidence in your voice, the opportunities you've opened, the new people you've met, and the new life you've built, all because you decided to begin with one small daily habit. That future is waiting for you. And it starts now. So, take that step. Speak that word. Write that sentence. Listen to that story. Do it today, do it tomorrow, and keep doing it. Because small steps create momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence opens doors. And those doors lead you to big success. Your journey has already begun. Keep going. Keep growing. And remember, small steps every day create the biggest success of your life. If you found this audiobook inspiring, don't stop here. Let's keep growing together. Make sure to like this audiobook, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next dose of English motivation. And if this message touched you, share it with a friend who's also on their English journey, because success feels even greater when we grow together. Remember, your small step today is the beginning of your big success tomorrow.